Yeah, got a new hobby. Welcome back to another weekly roundup of cloud gaming news. Happy 2021, everyone. Hope everyone had a safe holiday and new year and are enjoying lockdown 3.0. A quick thank you for allowing me to take some much needed R&R over the Christmas break, but we are back. It's the new year. Let's see if I remember how to do this, and let's get into this week's cloud gaming news. So let's start things off with Stadia, who are starting the new year strong with the January Pro games. We have 5 Pro games of January, which are F1 2020, Hotline Miami, Figment, El Hijo, and Ari and the Secret of Seasons. So some heavy hitters for January, and this continues my belief in the mantra that if you're thinking of picking up a game on Stadia, just wait, just a little bit. Chances are it will come to Stadia Pro. But what would you like to see from Stadia in 2021? Let me know in those comments down below. I'll start off nice and simple. Android TV support. Google, could you just put your app on your own platform? That would be awesome. And secondly, probably a big thing for a lot of cloud gaming services this year in this post-next-gen console era, are we going to see anything in terms of hardware upgrades? Gen 2 has been long rumored for Stadia with no sight of it in 2020. Fingers crossed for 2021. Moving on to GeForce Now, and before we look ahead to 2021, let's take a quick look back at 2020. When GeForce Now officially came out of beta in February 2020, it had around 1 million users. But with the rise in popularity of cloud gaming, by November 2020, that user base had grown by 500% to 5 million users. And bearing in mind that's November, that was before the release of Cyberpunk in December, when people suddenly realized that their 5-year-old Dell Optiplex wasn't good enough to run it, and they'd have to sell a kidney to get their hands on a 30 series GPU. So I imagine by the end of 2020, that number may have actually been significantly higher. But looking ahead, and again starting strong in the new year, GeForce Now have already announced a list of 23 titles which will be coming to the service in January, which I'll throw up on screen here. Now it's worth mentioning that they have said that these are the 23 titles which are currently confirmed, but more publishers could still up their games in throughout January. So a few from the list I wanted to call out. First one, Among Us will let you play the PC version of Among Us using GeForce Now on a phone or tablet, which will definitely make you look less sus than using the awkward on-screen controls in the app version of the game. Warframe is definitely a great addition as a free-to-play title. This is a game which is still going strong. It receives constant updates and has a massive community. So great get for GeForce Now. And finally, Iron Conflict is a day-and-date release coming out on January 7th on Steam, and is an online competitive real-time strategy game that features both modern and World War II aircrafts and tanks. Again, any thoughts on what you would like to see from GeForce Now in 2021? Let me know in those comments down below. For me, as a subscriber to the GeForce Now Founders tier, I'd like to see the introduction of the 3090 cards to the service, because let's face it, it's probably the only way a lot of us are going to get to test them for some time. And finally, we've come a long way from publishers removing their games from GeForce Now in flocks, and the opt-in model does seem to be working for most publishers. So I'd like to continue to see a large number of games coming to GeForce Now week after week, and fingers crossed the return of some notable publishers. The ball's in your court, Activision Blizzard. We want to play Overwatch. Moving on to Microsoft Xcloud, and they are continuing to expand their list of titles with on-screen controls, with 22 games now available, which again I'll throw up on the screen here. For my full thoughts on how these on-screen controls work, I'll link here to my full review. TLDR, they are great if you're in a pinch and find yourself with some time to kill, but unfortunately they just don't work for all types of games, and also can be somewhat uncomfortable for extended play sessions. Next, in a recent interview with Phil Spencer, he talked about the potential change in the current game library subscription model of Xcloud, and the potential for making it possible for players to both buy and keep their games and then play them on Xcloud. Phil stated, "Our long-term aspiration is to make Xcloud a great way for new gamers to come into the ecosystem. Now, we want to give people the ability to buy. We've talked about that. We don't want to make it just about the subscription, because we know certain people want to be able to buy their games and still play them via the cloud, so they get that convenience feature of being connected to their library. There's so much opportunity as we're looking at new screens that we can bring Xcloud to. It opens up massive device categories that we don't even really think about today in terms of where these games can show up." And finally for xCloud, we have 3 new games which have been added in January. We have Injustice 2, PES 2021, and The Little Acre, and a 4th game will be added next week, which is Torchlight 3. Looking ahead in 2021 for xCloud, we already have confirmation of some exciting developments like the app coming to both Windows and iOS in spring, and the upgrade to Series X hardware, so xCloud is definitely one to watch in 2021. And finally, let's talk about Amazon Luna. Even in my time off, there's honestly not that much to catch up on. As we've talked about before, at launch, Amazon Luna was available to stream to iOS devices through the web browser, but not to Android, which is the opposite way around to how we usually see these apps roll out. But as of December 15th, the Luna app is now available on the Google Play Store for Android devices. However, that's only helpful to a marginally small number of invited beta testers who live in the US. So looking ahead to 2021, if Luna is looking to make an impact, they need to ramp up that rollout to more users, and of course they 100% need to expand outside of the US. And of course, with their channel subscription model, users can currently access the Luna Plus channel for the base subscription of $5.99 a month, and if you subscribe to Ubisoft Plus, you can access the Ubisoft channel. For 2021, what I'd like to see is the continued expansion of titles available in the Luna Plus channel, as there's a couple of games in that list which currently stand out to me, but the rest are just kind of so-so. And of course, we'd love to see the addition of more channels come to Amazon Luna, maybe EA, Activision Blizzard, or Bandai Namco. And finally, in terms of performance, 1080p is fine for this initial rollout beta phase, but again, to be kept in the running in a fast-moving space, 4K is almost becoming a standard with these services nowadays, so it would be great to see that in 2021. And finally, we won't be talking about 2021 for Shadow in this video, just because Shadow is having a news live stream on Thursday, January the 14th, where they'll be announcing some developments for Q1 2021. So we'll do a roundup of that next week. If you want to be notified of when their news live stream goes live, check out my Discord link in the description down below. All of their Twitch Go Live notifications go out through my channel. But that's it from me. Now we just need to see if I remember how to edit, I guess. But of course, if you enjoyed the video, you found it somewhat helpful, a like rating would be appreciated. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next one. I hope everyone's staying safe out there. And as always, I shall see you in the next one.